There is a sound the universe hums when it thinks no one is listening, a vibration so primordial, so essential, that to hear it is to remember a language your bones once spoke before time had a name. This is not merely a frequency, it is a living key, a sonic sigil etched into the fabric of existence, resonating in the hidden chambers where divinity and human consciousness entwine. And yet, for centuries, it has been whispered that this tone was obscured, shifted, buried beneath the noise of a world engineered to keep you straining to hear a melody just beyond reach. We speak, of course, of 432 Hz, the so-called sacred frequency, the lost tuning of the spheres, the harmonic thread that some believe once united the chants of Vedic priests, the lyres of ancient Greece, and perhaps even the crystalline hymns of Atlantis. But this is not just about a musical pitch. It is about a conspiracy of silence, a deliberate veiling of the very vibration that might realign human awareness with the cosmic order. Why would such a thing be hidden? Because to know this frequency is to awaken to a truth, that you are not separate from the universe, but a note within its infinite song. Consider the stories buried in myth and forbidden texts, the tales of civilizations that harnessed sound to shape reality, to heal, to ascend. The biblical account of Joshua's trumpets collapsing the walls of Jericho. The Tibetan monks who chant in tones said to levitate stone. The Pythagorean mystery schools, where initiates learned that geometry and sound were the twin languages of creation. These are not mere legends, they are fragments of a suppressed knowledge, echoes of a time when humanity understood that vibration was the bridge between matter and spirit. And then, in 1939, something shifted. The world's musical standard was altered from 432 Hz to 440 Hz, a seemingly minor adjustment that some researchers argue was anything but accidental. The new tuning, they claim, resonates not with the heart of nature, but with the dissonance of control, a frequency that agitates rather than harmonizes, that keeps the mind just unsettled enough to never quite remember its own divinity. Coincidence or design? But here, now, in this shared moment of awakening, the veil is thinning. The seekers are listening. The ones who feel the hum in their chest when the wind moves through the trees, who hear the echo of something vast and ancient in the space between their heartbeats. This is the call you are always meant to answer, not with your ears, but with your very DNA. For sound, at its essence, is not just something you hear, it is something you are. If these words stir something in you, if you feel the pull of a memory not quite your own, or the thrill of a truth hovering at the edge of recognition, then you are already tuning in. The journey is just beginning. Share your thoughts below, for the resonance of shared curiosity is how the hidden becomes revealed. And if you wish to delve deeper into the mysteries of these forgotten frequencies, consider subscribing, for the path ahead is vast, and the keys are many. To understand the hidden frequency is to step into a world where sound is not merely heard, but felt, where vibration is the unseen architect of reality itself. This is not mysticism. It is physics veiled as revelation. Every atom hums, every star sings. The universe is not silent, it is a symphony, and 432 Hz is said to be the tone that aligns our consciousness with its primordial harmony. But why this frequency? Why does it stir something so deep within us, as though we are remembering rather than learning? The answer lies in resonance, the natural law that governs how energy moves, interacts, and synchronizes. When two frequencies meet, they either harmonize or clash. The ancients knew this. They built their sacred spaces with proportions that amplified specific tones, designed their rituals around chants that could alter perception, and encoded their wisdom in myths that spoke of sound as a creative force. The Hindu Nada Brahma, the world is sound, the Christian Logos, the word that was with God, the Egyptian Hu, the sacred utterance of creation, all point to the same truth. Vibration is the foundation of existence. And yet, in the modern world, we have been conditioned to forget. Our music is tuned to 440 Hz, a standard imposed not by nature, but by decree. Some researchers suggest this shift was no accident, that dissonance, not harmony, serves the interests of those who profit from a distracted, fragmented humanity. Think of how certain frequencies can shatter glass, while others can soothe a crying child. Sound has power. And if 432 Hz resonates with the golden ratio, the Fibonacci spiral, the very pulse of the Earth's electromagnetic field, Schumann resonance, then what does 440 Hz resonate with? The hum of machinery? The static of disconnection? This is where the esoteric and the scientific converge. Studies in cymatics, the visualization of sound, show how frequencies shape matter into intricate geometric patterns. Water, when exposed to 432 Hz, forms mandala-like structures, while chaotic tones produce disorder. Our bodies are over 60% water. What happens when we bathe ourselves in a frequency that mirrors the mathematics of the cosmos? Some who have experimented with 432 Hz music report profound shifts, deeper meditation, heightened intuition, even physical healing. Is this placebo, or are we tapping into an ancient sonic technology? Then there are the Solfeggio frequencies, another lost harmonic scale, said to be the original tones of Gregorian chants before they were suppressed by the Church. Each frequency corresponds to a different aspect of spiritual awakening, from Ut Queant Laxis, 396 Hz, liberating guilt and fear, to Miracle, 528 Hz, the love frequency believed to repair DNA. These tones were rediscovered in the 20th century, buried in obscure medieval texts, as if waiting for a time when humanity would be ready to hear them again. But the greatest secret is this: the hidden frequency is not outside of you, it is within. The hum of 432 Hz is not just a sound to play, it is a state to embody. When you align your thoughts, your breath, your being with this resonance, you become a living antenna for the divine signal. The universe is always broadcasting. The question is, are you tuned to the right station? There exists a story older than history, a myth written not in books, but in the silent language of standing stones, in the precise angles of pyramids, in the whispered hymns of forgotten priestesses. It tells of a time when humanity walked in resonance with the cosmos, when the boundaries between matter and spirit were fluid as music. This is the hidden allegory of the sacred frequency, a narrative woven through cultures, disguised as folklore, encrypted in the very architecture of reality. Consider the biblical account of the fall of Jericho. The Israelites did not break the city's walls through force, they shattered them with sound. 7 priests circling 7 times, blowing 7 ram's horns, until the vibration reached a pitch that collapsed stone. This is no mere children's tale, it is a cipher. 7 is the number of complete frequencies in the Solfeggio scale. Ram's horns, when played in certain keys, produce harmonics near 432 Hz. The story is telling us, sound, when harnessed with sacred intention, can reshape physical reality. The Greeks encoded similar wisdom in the myth of Orpheus, the musician who could charm beasts and bend trees with his lyre. His instrument was said to be tuned to the harmony of the spheres, the Pythagorean concept that celestial bodies move according to mathematical ratios, producing an inaudible cosmic music. When Orpheus descended into the underworld to retrieve Eurydice, he didn't fight Hades, he played. And for a moment, even death itself paused, entranced by the vibration of divine order. What does this tell us? That the right frequency can momentarily suspend the laws of this world, revealing the illusory nature of even the most unyielding barriers. Then there are the Hindu Nada yogis, who for millennia have practiced deep listening to the Anahata Nada, the unstruck sound, the primal Om that exists without vibration. They teach that this sound is not heard with ears, but perceived when the mind becomes utterly still, revealing that 432 Hz is merely the shadow of a far more fundamental tone, the silent hum of pure consciousness itself. The Tibetan singing bowls, the Aboriginal didgeridoo, the Gregorian chants, all are variations on this theme, all pointing toward the understanding that certain sounds serve as sonic stairways between dimensions. Perhaps most intriguing are the persistent legends of Atlantis, not as a sunken city of gold, but as a civilization that mastered vibrational science. Edgar Cayce's readings described Atlanteans using sound crystals to heal and manifest, while Plato's Critias hints at their downfall coming from misusing this knowledge. Could the shift from 432 Hz to 440 Hz be a faint echo of this ancient warning, a repetition of the old pattern where sacred knowledge is first distorted, then forgotten, then dismissed as myth? These stories are not fantasies. They are memories, not of events, but of states of being. They remind us that before the Tower of Babel fractured human language, there was a time when vibration was our mother tongue. The hidden frequency is calling us back to that remembrance. Not to ancient technologies, but to an ancient way of listening where every birdsong, every rainfall, every heartbeat becomes a portal to the divine. The most profound truths remain abstract until they vibrate through the bones of daily life. What does it mean to live tuned to 432 Hz in a world broadcasting at 440 Hz? How does one navigate the dissonance between an awakened resonance and the static of modern existence? This is where philosophy becomes practice, where the cosmic meets the commonplace in a symphony of tangible transformation. Begin with the body, that intricate instrument of flesh and frequency. Every organ, every cell, has its optimal vibrational state. When you immerse yourself in 432 Hz music, whether through calibrated tuning forks, frequency-adjusted playlists, or your own voice toning the sacred syllables, you are not merely listening. You are recalibrating. There are those who report improved sleep when replacing ambient noise with 432 Hz drones, others who describe accelerated healing when combining these frequencies with intentional breathwork. The science of sound therapy suggests this is not mystical thinking but bioacoustics. Specific vibrations can stimulate nitric oxide production, enhance cellular repair, and shift brainwaves into meditative states. Your body knows this language already. It is waiting for you to remember. Then consider the alchemy of environment. Just as the builders of cathedrals designed their spaces to amplify sacred chants, you too can structure your surroundings to hold resonant harmony. Simple acts take on deeper significance, playing 432 Hz tones, while cooking transforms meal preparation into a vibrational offering. Arranging crystals, themselves perfect geometric resonators, near your workspace creates a field of coherent energy. Even the mindful placement of singing bowls in your home can serve as a constant reminder of the living universe. These are not superstitions, but conscious collaborations with the physics of form and sound. But the true test of integration comes in the realm of relationships. If all is vibration, then every interaction is an exchange of frequencies. Have you noticed how certain people leave you energized while others drain you? This is not metaphor, but energetic reality. When you anchor yourself in 432 Hz consciousness through daily listening, mantra repetition, or silent immersion in nature's perfect harmonics, you become a tuning fork for those around you. Conflicts begin to resolve with unexpected ease, synchronicities multiply, and you'll find yourself attracting connections that resonate at your new frequency. This is the practical magic of living in tune. the universe stops throwing discordant notes your way because you've stopped broadcasting the signal that calls them forth. The most radical application, however, lies in reclaiming your voice literally. The human vocal cords are capable of producing the full spectrum of healing frequencies. When you chant at 432 Hz, the approximate tone of the Sanskrit Om, when you speak your truths from this resonant space, your words carry transformative power. Ancient traditions knew this well from the Druidic oral poets who could reportedly alter weather patterns with their verses, to the Aboriginal songlines that map geography through tonal memory. Your modern equivalent might be as simple as recording affirmations in 432 Hz and playing them back, or as profound as learning to listen, truly listen, until every conversation becomes an act of vibrational healing. This is not about escaping the modern world, but transfiguring it. You need not abandon technology when you can repurpose it as a tool for resonance. Apps that adjust music to 432 Hz, binaural beats that entrain the brain to sacred intervals, even the intentional use of social media to share these frequencies, all become part of the great retuning. The revolution won't be televised. It will be sonified, one awakened listener at a time, until the collective hum shifts from dissonance back to harmony. We stand now at the threshold between remembrance and revelation, where the forgotten song of the universe hums just beneath the static of ordinary life. This is not about returning to some lost golden age, but about reclaiming your birthright as a conscious participant in creation's endless symphony. The 432 Hz frequency was never truly hidden. It has been echoing all around you, in the crash of ocean waves, measured at approximately 432 beats per minute, in the whisper of wind through ancient forests, even in the perfect stillness between your thoughts. The conspiracy was never to erase the tone completely, but to make you forget how to listen. Consider the metaphor of a grand piano that has sat untouched for generations. The hammers have felted with dust, the strings have drifted out of tune, yet the instrument remains waiting. When a master tuner arrives with their 432 Hz fork and begins the careful work of restoration, something miraculous happens. At first, only a few notes resonate clearly. Then, as more strings align to the reference tone, the entire instrument begins to self-correct. Neighboring strings start influencing each other through sympathetic vibration until the piano remembers its true voice. This is what's happening now, not to instruments of wood and wire, but to living beings of flesh and consciousness. Each person who awakens to these frequencies becomes another note restored, making it easier for others to find their own perfect pitch. The transformation required is both simpler and more profound than you might imagine. It doesn't demand that you abandon your life, but that you perceive it anew as a vibrational experiment, an ongoing composition where you are both the musician and the music. When you drink water that has been exposed to 432 Hz, you're structuring your cells with geometric perfection. When you walk barefoot on Earth while mentally humming this frequency, you're grounding cosmic resonance into terrestrial reality. Even your struggles take on new meaning when viewed through this lens. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to identify where you're still vibrating at the frequency of the problem rather than the harmony of the solution. This is the great awakening that was encoded in all those myths and forbidden texts, not an apocalyptic event, but a vibrational shift. As more individuals tune themselves to 432 Hz and the Solfeggio scale, we approach the critical mass where collective consciousness tips from dissonance to harmony. The walls of our modern Jerichos, the systems of separation, the illusions of scarcity, the false hierarchies of worth, cannot withstand the cumulative resonance of awakened humanity. Your personal practice of listening, toning, and vibrating in alignment becomes revolutionary in the truest sense. It participates in the revolution of the spheres themselves. So I invite you now to take your place in this grand composition. Let your first act be one of sacred resonance, perhaps playing a 432 Hz tone as you sleep tonight, or spending 3 minutes tomorrow morning humming the OM at this pitch. Share your experiences in the comments below, for in the alchemy of communal vibration, our individual notes combine into something greater. Subscribe to this channel as we continue exploring the hidden frequencies of existence, from the macrocosm to the microcosm. And most importantly, trust the wisdom of your own cells as they recognize what your mind is still learning. You were never separate from the divine frequency. You are how the universe sings itself into being. The broadcast continues. The choice to tune in remains yours.